Even as the full extent of the Wagalla massacre slowly continued to become clear to local residents, the rest of Kenya and indeed the world had no idea about the horror that had befallen the people of Wajir. It was obvious that the government wanted matters to remain that way, and the administration and security authorities in Wajir did everything possible to conceal any evidence of the attack. This involved a massive operation to quickly dispose of the dead bodies.
Watu iko mahututi walichukuliwa kutoka kwaje wako juu ya magari hizo yote ya army, malori ya polisi na army, wakapelekwa kichaga. Sio bahali moja, ingine barabara ya Mandera, ingine Moyale, ingine hii ya Merti, ingine ya Baswei, ingine ya Difu. Ili watu walitawanya, wanachukua lori 3 maiti, wanapeleka huko. Wanamwaga huko fisi ndio nakula.
But an atrocity of that magnitude could not be concealed for long, and the word began to trickle in amongst aid agencies and NGOs operating in the country. Several organizations, including AMREF, Oxfam and the Kenya Red Cross, headed to Wajir, but their progress was frustrated by several roadblocks that had been mounted on roads leading to the town. When some AMREF officials managed to reach the local hospital, they encountered a desperate situation where scores of victims lay unattended to due to a lack of medication. And even when they alerted the Ministry of Health for support, it was not forthcoming.
And then those days, again, looks like Ministry of Health had to get in touch with OP, and they were told you can't do that. And therefore AMREF got concerned.
As more and more aid agencies tried to enter Wajir, the more the security forces tightened the noose around the town.
A number of European countries, they decided they will drive on road. They were denied permission. They were stopped in Abaswain, and they were completely denied any possibility. In fact, they slept the night there. They were eaten by mosquitoes. They came back hungry. The European missions issued statements about it.
A dusk to dawn curfew and a ban on meetings of 3 or more people was imposed. It was not until 1.5 months after the massacre, when Parliament reopened, that the news of the attack received national attention. On the 27th of March 1984, the then Member of Parliament for Wajir West, the late Ahmed Khalif, raised the matter in the House and demanded a ministerial statement on the attack. Khalif claimed that over 300 people had been killed at the Wagalla airstrip alone and tabled photographs of victims which showed the full horror of the attack. In response, the then Minister of State in the office of the President, Justice Ole Tippis, tried to downplay the attack. According to Tippis, the Wagalla incident was a routine security operation in a volatile area where there had been persistent clashes between members of the Ajuran and Digodia clans. He said that the security forces had gone to contain the situation, and that when they tried to disarm members of the Digodia clan, some of them turned violent, and that in the ensuing pandemonium, there was an exchange of gunfire and that only 57 men were killed. Tippis hinted that the security forces may have used excessive force, but refused to acknowledge that what occurred at the Wagalla airstrip was a massacre. But the victims were not satisfied with the government's answer, and for the last 27 years have continued to demand justice. In 2005, 319 victims took the matter to court under the umbrella of the Truth Be Told network. In the suit, which has never been concluded, the plaintiffs are seeking from the court an acknowledgement that the massacre occurred, compensation for the victims, and an explanation as to why the attack took place.
I've appeared in court close to 20 times over this issue. At one time, Mr. Justice Ibrahim ordered the matter to proceed on day-to-day basis, but for some reason, and I'm making no accusations against anybody in the judiciary, he was transferred to Mombasa, and the matter never took off.
The ongoing court case is only one of numerous efforts seeking justice for the Wagalla victims. Since the massacre, several international human rights organizations have been pressing for answers on what exactly happened at the Wagalla airstrip and why. The United Nations took up the case in the same year that the attack occurred, and after years of investigations, finally declared that the Wagalla massacre was the worst episode of human rights violations in Kenyan history. At that time, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights was one Mr. Amos Wako, who investigated the Wagalla massacre and submitted a confidential report to the United Nations, which he compiled in 1985. We were unable to get the report. Amos Wako was later appointed Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya. Having already investigated the massacre on behalf of the United Nations, it is assumed that Wako is one of the most knowledgeable people about what happened at the Wagalla airstrip on the 10th of February 1984. Now that he had been appointed Attorney General, what did he do about it? Kenya's secret history continues tomorrow. Belinda Obura for Citizen TV.